What's up, guys? How y'all doing? We're just going to be doing a tier ranking video of chips today. I went ahead and just kind of cheated a little bit, kind of looked at it beforehand. And the never had tab, I just put in all the chips that were provided to me. Any chips that I haven't tasted before, I just went ahead and threw them in here so we didn't waste any time on that. But without further ado, we have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and then F tier is just the absolute worst. And speaking of F tier, I'm throwing Cape Cod in the F. Only because it's probably one of the worst chips I've ever had before. I went to the QT, which is just a corner store. I'm not too sure if QT is nationwide or whatever. But went there a few weeks ago, wanted to try something new. I'm always trying to try new chips, trying to broaden my horizons. And this was probably like I said, one of the worst chips I've ever had, if not the worst chip. Only because I bought barbecue flavored and it just tasted like dirty, old, dingy, like tuna that came from a packet that was abandoned in a car, and the sun came through, and you could just smell it from a few, like, I don't know. It was just terrible. But yeah, yeah, not a fan. So that's going on the F tier. Now we have the sun chip. We have the French onion. Now, I'm usually a fan of the French onion chip, with or just flavoring in general, like French onion dip or and a few other chips as well, where it has French onions. But as far as sun chips goes, I just gotta throw it in the S or not the S, the C tier. Just because it's not that bad, but it. I won't eat it. It's not good. Up next we have lime Tostitos. Um, doesn't really do anything crazy for me. I'm gonna throw that in the C tier as well. It's not bad, but nothing that I'm gonna be picking up. Speaking of uh, Tostitos, let's go ahead and grab the regular Tostitos. Now, the regular Tostitos, it is, some might say it's bland because it's just a regular tortilla chip. However, it serves a purpose and it fulfills that purpose. You put the salsa in a scoop. You don't have all this stuff dripping out, dripping off. I think that the scoops specifically is some of the best, or one of the best ideas that a chip business has come up with. I'm throwing it at the top B. Up next, we'll do Pringles next. I'm gonna be throwing the sour cream and onion probably at the A tier. It's up there as far as the best Pringle flavoring it goes. It's just a staple. Apologies if you hear my cat taking it, but yeah, that's what that noise is. And so with that, we'll just go hand in hand with the original. The original isn't a game changer in any way. It's just a bland chip, which is fine. It serves its purpose. That's what it's there for. But I'll typically go with any other flavorings as far as Pringles goes. We could go ahead and do the pizza. Not overly big on the pizza either. However, it's better than the original. And I understand it's pizza flavoring, and it's supposed to be that way, obviously. But sometimes the pizza flavoring can just be a little bit too overbearing for me. So, again, not bad, but it is what it is. Now, we're going to go to the barbecue Pringles. Barbecue Pringles, I'm going to throw in the A tier as well. I just think it's a really solid chip. It's probably neck and neck with sour cream and onion. Um, yeah, and even like the little advertisement on the front where it's like a shish kebab with all this other stuff just makes it look appetizing. Makes me want to go and buy some barbecue Pringles right now. So it's going in A. Next up, we have Flamin' Hot Funyuns. Now, I do like me some Flamin' Hot Funyuns. I'm going to be throwing it into. I'll throw it in the A tier as well. It's a damn good hot chip. However, I might turn some heads on this one because even though the Flamin' Hot Funyun's good, I gotta throw the regular Funyun in the C tier. I know a lot of people love Funyuns. That's up there, if not S tier for a lot of people. It's just I never got the hype with it. There's definitely worse chips out there, but it just doesn't do it for me. Up next, let's go. I'll just start picking these at random. Let's go with the regular nacho cheese Doritos. So there was a time where I was like 5 years old. I consumed too much of these in one sitting and I threw up. That kind of set the tone for the nacho cheese flavorings for the rest of my life. Not a bad chip, but I unfortunately have to throw it in the C tier. It's just my own personal experiences and vendettas, I guess. Next up, let's just go with the Lay's barbecue chips. Now, the Lay's barbecue chips, they're pretty good. I'll probably throw them at the very top of A tier, to be honest. It's not quite S tier for me, and I'll explain why. But yeah, I'll explain why in a second whenever I go to the Lay's barbecued baked. Now, same thing, but it just all comes down to texture. I know one's technically healthier than the other, blah blah blah. It's not really that case. That's not why I like one better than the other. I just like it for the texture. It reminds me of middle school. That's what I bought a lot whenever I would eat lunch. Um, yeah, it's just I guess it just has a soft spot for me. So that goes in the A tier. Let's go Fritos. I believe this is the chili cheese flavored. This is going in A tier. I think this is a really good Frito. I think it's the best Frito, to be honest. Oh, no. Actually, I take that back. It's the second best Frito. Um, let's go ahead and talk about the best Frito, if I can find it, because I could have swore it was on here. I guess not. Maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe we'll get back to it. Right? No, I could have swore I saw it. Yes, it is. Here it is. There we go. The best Frito is going to be the barbecue twists. Um, Not much I can really say about it other than good texture, good taste. It's going in A tier. Up next at random, now we go into the Lay's stacked. I think the Lay's stack, and this it's an unpopular opinion, it's the same type of packaging, the same type of shape um, as the regular Pringle, but I think it's a better Pringle, if that makes sense. I think everything that Pringles should be, I think the Lay's Stacks is. I love the texture, the flavoring's perfect. All those flavors kind of burst out more than just a regular Pringle. Um, yeah, I just that's going in A tier for me. Speaking of Lay's Stacks, this is probably going to be our first S tier. It's not the best chip of all time, but it's our first one that's going into S tier. It's the sour cream and onion Lay's stacks. Again, just a better Pringle. The texture's there. It's just so good. I'll eat it anytime, anywhere. It's good on your sandwich as well. I mean, most of these are, but yeah, this is probably top five for me. Probably on the lower end of that, but it's still up there. Now, next we'll go Doritos chili. I believe this is sweet chili. A good Dorito, not my personal favorite, but it's still pretty damn good. I'll throw it in B. Now, we are going to go with Takis. Now, some of y'all are going to be thinking that I am on something, knowing that Lay's Stacks chips is an S tier, and I'm not putting Takis in S tier. It's probably going to go first in A tier, though. Takis is really good. The only thing that kind of brings it down for me is just, sometimes it has like that stale taste. Not saying it's a stale chip because it isn't, but it's a little harder to consume. You have to crunch down on it, messes up your teeth. It is what it is. It's still really good flavoring. I still love the little chili on it. I remember people used to go crazy back in the day in middle school. Picture a version of me, emo, skinny jeans, dorky glasses, walking the hallway, trying to be cool with a bag of Takis in his hand, like wanting to show it off and flaunt. Yeah, I got a big bag of Takis. And what's up? Well, what me didn't think of is, the fiends that were out there, and we had some fiends because Takis was like a form of currency back in the day. And so there was this one guy, I ain't saying names, but he was a Takis fiend, probably the Takis fiend. This guy would go crazy. And I remember he would always ask for people for some. And of course, he was going to ask me. And so I said, of course, yeah, you could have some. And he was like, just pour some in my hand. And he did two hands kind of cupped together. And I was like, okay, poured him in there. And then right after I was done with that, he kind of shoved his hands together to where the chips were basically in one hand. And he had a big hand. And he said, man, just give me the bag. Holding one hand has a bunch of Takis in his palm, while the other hand is basically trying to rip out the bag out of my hand. And he goes, "Man, give me the bag." And I'm like, "No, like these are my Takis." And so we're kind of doing like a little tug of war for him. And the next thing you know, they're kind of like the kind of goes everywhere, rips open, and yeah, that's just a kind of a vivid memory for me whenever it comes to Takis. But I digress. A tier. Let's see what else. We have, you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about my favorite chip of all time because I'm kind of eager to talk about this, and you'll see why. This is the best chip. I cannot speak today. This is the best chip I have ever had. The Lay's Kettle Cooked Flamin' Hot Limon. Now, the limon, pay attention to that. So I remember maybe like 2 years ago, went to Walmart, saw these on the shelf, tried it, life was changed. I would go to Target, they would be there. You go to other grocery stores, they would be there. And then all of a sudden, not too long after that, maybe like 4 months after that, I couldn't find them. I could find the kettle cooked flamin' hot, which it's good, but it's not the flamin' hot limon. And so I don't know if they're just out of stock, discontinued. I haven't really looked into it. I haven't cared to go online to check it out, but yeah, I don't know what happened. Makes me so sad. It was my favorite chip of all time. Tastes amazing. If you have the ability to try it, if for some reason it's at your local store, if you can try it, please try it. You won't be disappointed. Great texture, great taste, great everything about it. Just yeah, it's my favorite chip of all time. I haven't tried any chip that's been better than it. Um, that's an S tier for sure. Let's go ahead and just pick a random one. We have the regular Fritos. It serves a purpose, nothing too crazy. You could put it in Frito pie. I'm throwing it in the B tier. Let's pick another random one. Now we have our regular Cheetos, crunchy. Not my favorite, still pretty damn good. It's Americana. I don't know. It might be Americana. But every time I think of Cheetos, I think of that one Family Guy cutaway where it's Chester Cheeto and he snorts that line of cheese and he says, "It's not easy being cheesy." That's what I think of every time. So just for that, I'm throwing it at the top of B. Let's see. Right now we have Munchies. I'm actually going to be throwing this in the A tier. I mean, it's a combination of all things that I like. Next up, we have Cheetos Flamin' Hot. That's going to be going in A tier. Um, yeah, just Flamin' Hot Cheetos. What more can I say? Speaking of that, let's just do the puffs. That'll be going in A tier as well. I like it better than the regular crunch. Just the puff adds a little bit more fluff to it. Um, yeah, just a really good chip. Let's see what else. Okay, the Taco Doritos. I know some people may hate these. I actually enjoy them. So, yeah, they were just always kind of there in my household. So I guess maybe I adapted to the taste, but I don't really have a vivid memory ever disliking them. But no, I think these are really good. Definitely going in A tier. Um, the Doritos Flamas. These are probably the best Doritos. Actually, I know that these are the best Doritos. Actually, no, I don't know that. What do I know? These are the second best. I'll tell you what the first best Doritos are. I'll throw these above baked barbecue. The best Doritos is the Flamin' Hot Doritos. Try this maybe like a year or two ago. Um, yeah, borderline life changing. Not quite S tier, but actually, you know what? It's S tier. It's S tier. Yeah, this is the best Doritos. It is borderline life changing. If I say a statement like that, it has to go on the S tier. But yeah, it's there for sure. Up next, we have the regular Lay's. I'll just kind of go through these real quick. Sour cream and onion Lay's, pretty good. I got to go on the A tier. It's a staple. As far as the lemon Lay's, hey, guess what? Those are pretty good too. I'm throwing these in the A tier, just right below barbecue. I like it better than the puffs. Classic Lay's, they don't really do it too much for me. I'll throw them in the S. Not the S. What am I talking about? Throw them in the C. Again, it serves its purpose. It's a classic chip, not really supposed to taste like anything but potato. Just doesn't do enough for me though. We have, let's see, I believe this is our, what is this? What is this? This is our spicy nacho Dorito. A tier. A tier for sure. Yeah, yeah, a damn good Dorito. Now, let's see. We have Cool Ranch. A lot of people, a lot of people don't like Cool Ranch. They'll call me crazy. Some people will throw Cool Ranch in the F, maybe C. I think Cool Ranch is delicious. I think Cool Ranch. Um, I think that it gets overhated sometimes. I get it. People have different taste buds, yada yada yada. But for that exact same reason, I gotta go off of my taste buds, and it's an A tier chip. I I love the Cool Ranch chip. I'll eat those suckers in one sitting for sure. Sounded like I was gonna say for show, but then I didn't want to commit to that, so I was trying to say for sure, and that was the outcome. Anyways, up next we have Hot Cheetos Flamin' Hot Limon. S tier. S tier for sure. I know all my Latinas love this right here. You know, what's that one meme where it's like all Latina women know how to do is um, charge their phone, twerk, and eat hot chip? Well, here you go. This is the chip that they're talking about, and it's damn good. I don't blame them. S tier. Let's go ahead and knock out. There's just the rest of the Cheetos. Puffs are pretty good. I'll throw them in the B. Let's see. Extra hot. Now, extra hot, I'll throw in B. They're good. I understand it's supposed to bring a more sort of intensity factor to it. It doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, obviously it's hotter, but you know, I prefer just the regular hot chip. As far as like the Cheetos Flamin' Hot goes. Next up, now F tier for sure, for sure. We have the cheddar jalapeno Cheetos. Um, Cape Cod's still worse. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, this is trash. I try to like this. They come in those little jumbo size bags. So, of course, they're always there to snack on. But every time we would get those, like the Cheetos bags, you buy the variety pack. And yeah, all the other bags would be eaten. But for whatever reason, oh, actually, not for whatever reason, for a very clear reason, the cheddar jalapeno chips would always be there until they got expired. So, and chips usually takes a while for them to expire. So they would be there a good while in the pantry. Nobody would eat them, and it is what it is. It's a bad chip. It's going straight to the F tier. Now, to balance that a little bit, we have the hot fries from Cheetos. That's an S tier chip. I mean, I don't really need to explain myself on that. It's an S tier chip. I'll even throw it above the Lay's stacks. All right, I'll go ahead and knock these out. Sun chips. We have the cheddar. It's good, but it's not that good. It's a C tier. Same thing for. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, but just a salty tortilla chip. Excuse me. No, thank you. Now we have Miss Vicky's jalapeno. That's a B tier. Miss Vicky's spicy dill chip is probably top two for me. It's just that it's not on this list, but it would definitely be in the S tier. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, it's probably top two, top three, maybe. But but as far as the jalapeno, it's definitely B tier. Original Sun Chip, S. The wavy Pringles, they're okay. I'll throw them in B with the jalapeno and the barbecue. The wavy, it has a different texture. It's not for some people, but I don't mind it. We'll knock this out. Now, I remember I tried this chip a long time ago. I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm not even gonna try. It's a B tier chip. Um, it's pretty good. I could eat a bunch of them in one sitting, but nothing too crazy to jump over the moon about. Kettle barbecue. I love me some kettle barbecue. I'll throw those in B too. Chex Mix. Chex Mix is probably going just right below the regular Cheeto. Chex Mix is a staple for me. I love like the pretzels and whatever else the other type of chips are called, but Chex Mix is pretty good. Up next, we have the little Doritos Taki versions. I don't mind these. They are a little bit more harder to consume, to bite down on. But if somebody brings them, it'll still be a good time. I'll still tear these suckers up. So it's probably at the lower end of A tier, but it's still there. Now, kettle cooked jalapeno, that's going to be going in B. I love me a good jalapeno chip, unlike, from Cheetos. Not even going to try to pronounce this, but I've had this on occasion. It's pretty good. I'll throw it in B. Um, let's talk about Ruffles for a second. So, Ruffles is either hit or miss. You either have a great chip, like I know they came out with those Jason Tatum chips. It was like what was it? It was like flaming hot barbecue, and those are amazing. I'll tear those up. But then they come out with like that stupid LeBron chip, and it's like jalapeno and lime, or like the Anthony Davis chip, whatever it was. I forgot who was advertising it. That was one of the worst things I've ever tasted. If that was on here, that would go into the F tier. Um, as far as Ruffles go, um, yeah, it's just hit or miss. I don't know what it is with Ruffles, but I digress. As far as the regular Ruffles, pretty solid, but not a go-to. I'll throw it in C. As far as the cheddar, I don't really care for the cheddar, to be honest. I'll probably throw it at the lower end of C. And then we have the kettle jalapeno. I gotta throw that in A. Like I said, I love a good jalapeno chip when they're done right. I'll probably throw them right below Flamin' Hot Funyuns. Now, Sun Chips Garden Salsa. This is borderline perfect. You just look at the packaging, even the jalapenos and the tomato, everything just looks scrumptious. Whoa, I glitched and went to the F tier. That is not going to happen. It is for sure going into the S tier. It's an S tier chip. Everything from the texture, from the taste. There's times where I've eaten a whole bag in like 10 minutes, like in like the big bags. Um, yeah, it's a damn good chip. Like whenever you really think about it, like if you've never tried it, try it. It's up there with the elites, all six of these chips. And then there's, like I said, there's more that aren't listed, like that Miss Vicky's spicy dill. Like I'm telling y'all, if y'all see those, they're usually at a Subway. Y'all gotta try them. But anyways, yeah, these are the best out of the chips that I were given. These are the best of the best. There's a few out there that I would consider S tier as well, but maybe that's for another video. And then these ones I have not tried. But yeah, that was my tier ranking of chips. Hope y'all enjoy that and have a good day.